From the outside, our love looked like something from a Nicholas Sparks novel. Elegant engagement photos of the lakeside, candlelit dinners posted on Instagram, promises etched in matching tattoos. We were the golden couple. At least that's what everyone believed. And I believed it, too. Her name was Tessa. Beautiful, composed, magnetic. The kind of woman who knew how to make everyone in the room feel seen, even when her attention was fixed on me. We met 3 years ago at a friend's wedding, one of those summer nights where champagne flows like water and music lives in your veins. I asked her to dance, and the rest was history. Within a year, we moved in together. Another year later, I proposed. She said yes with tears in her eyes. My younger brother, Zach, was the opposite of me. Reckless, spontaneous, charming in a way that got him out of trouble more than it should have. He was 2 years younger, a college dropout who chased startups and surfed couch to couch when things didn't work out. I loved him, but in the way older brothers love siblings, they're constantly trying to save from themselves. And he loved Tessa. I just didn't know how deeply. It began subtly. A sideways glance at a family dinner. Her laugh lingering just a second too long at one of his stupid jokes. The way she always seemed to know where he was, what he was doing. I chalked it up to paranoia. I had no reason not to trust her. She had stood by me during the worst years of my life. When our father passed, when I lost my job, when I fell into that depression I never talked about out loud. She held me up when I couldn't stand on my own. But people don't always cheat when they're neglected. Sometimes they cheat when they're adored, when the weight of someone else's devotion becomes too heavy to carry. We were at my mother's house, a Sunday barbecue, the kind where all the cousins and their kids show up in swimsuits, and the air smells like grilled corn and sunscreen. Tessa stood up to give a toast. "I have something to share," she said, smiling, her eyes sweeping the patio full of my family. "I'm pregnant." Cheers erupted. My mother shrieked. My aunt clapped. Champagne was opened. My little cousin asked if she could be the flower girl. Everyone looked at me, expecting me to smile, to cry tears of joy, to hold her belly like every doting husband-to-be. Instead, I just stared, because I knew something no one else did, something that had been gnawing at me for weeks. I couldn't be the father. We hadn't been intimate in nearly 3 months. She said she was stressed, tired, busy, and I respected that. But biology doesn't lie. I looked over at Zach. He wouldn't meet my eyes. The collapse they expected. I didn't scream. I didn't flip the table or throw my drink or demand a DNA test in front of my nieces and nephews. I smiled. I walked over, took the champagne glass from my mother's hand, and raised it in a toast. To the miracle of life, I said, "May this child bring the honesty we all apparently lacked." And I walked out, just like that. People cheered behind me, still unaware of the truth, or maybe pretending not to know. They expected me to collapse. But I didn't. I had already done that weeks ago when I found the texts, the late-night messages from her to Zach, the emojis that didn't belong in a conversation between future in-laws, the photos, the hotel receipts. I had already broken. That day, I simply walked away from the wreckage. 3 days later, the truth came out. I didn't need to expose them. My silence was enough. Silence speaks louder than rage, especially in a family like mine where everything's performance. Smiles at Christmas, toasts at weddings, forgiveness without apology. My mother called me crying. My father's brother said he always knew there was something off between Zach and Tessa. My friends flooded my phone with apologies they should have sent earlier. And Zach? He showed up at my apartment once, eyes bloodshot, shaking. "She came on to me," he said. I laughed in his face. "She chose you," I replied. "But you let her." He cried. I didn't. Tessa had the baby in March. A little boy with Zach's nose and Tessa's piercing gray eyes. They named him Miles. I didn't go to the hospital. I didn't send a gift. But I watched from a distance. Their social media painted the picture they wanted the world to see. A new family, redemption, joy. But I know Tessa. I know the way she fakes happiness with her eyes. And I know my brother. I know the guilt that festers, the shame that never quite washes away. People like them don't get happy endings. They get delayed consequences. They think I didn't collapse. But I did, just not in front of them. I collapsed every night. I slept on the floor of my best friend's apartment, avoiding the scent of the home I built with her. I collapsed when I had to cancel the wedding venue and tell a florist the bride wouldn't be needing her bouquet. I collapsed when I looked in the mirror and realized love doesn't always protect you. Sometimes it betrays you in the worst way possible. But then I rebuilt. I traveled. I started my own business. I reconnected with people I'd lost touch with during my golden couple days. I went to therapy. I learned how to laugh without bitterness. And one day, I met someone new. Not perfect, not a fantasy, but real, honest. The ending they didn't see coming. This year, at another family barbecue, I brought her, a woman who didn't flinch at my past, who held my hand like it wasn't something broken. Zach was there, too, hollow-eyed and tired, holding Miles while Tessa stared at me like I was a ghost she couldn't bury. Everyone watched again, waiting for tension, for some emotional eruption. But I just smiled, because I didn't collapse. They did. I just survived it better. As the sun dipped low over the backyard, painting everything gold, I watched Zach rock his son in silence, and Tessa sit stiffly beside him, her smile thinner than it used to be. No one toasted this time. No one clapped or cheered. They were all watching me now, not waiting for me to fall, but realizing I never did. I leaned toward the woman beside me, the one who saw me not as someone shattered by betrayal, but as someone rebuilt by truth. She squeezed my hand beneath the table. "You okay?" she whispered. "I am now," I said, and I meant it. Tessa had given birth to Zach's child, but I had given birth to a better version of myself. And in the end, I didn't just survive the betrayal, I rose above it. Let them keep their secrets, their forced smiles, their picture-perfect lies. I walked away with my peace. And that was more than enough.